Okay, I think we're up and running. Okay, so again, like I said, this whole unit deals almost entirely with circles. All right, lesson 0 is just because this is a little introductory, some vocab. Again, half of it you're going to know, half of it is going to be a little bit new. There's two main things that we want to talk about. All the parts of a circle, and then the new thing that's probably going to be new to a lot of you is what's called the measure of a circle, and the arc measure and all that stuff. Okay, so in here, what I'm just going to have you do is to name what these are. So if you look at this circle over here, if I ask you for the center of a circle, the center of a circle is always the point that is equidistant from any point on the circle. So in naming the center of a circle, it's just whatever letter that dot is named with. So that's just point Q, okay? That's all you're putting. If you're ever asked the name of a circle, the way we name circles is you're going to draw a circle symbol. So you're going to draw a circle with a dot in it. And then next to that, you are putting what the center of that circle would be. So the way we would read this here is we are looking at circle Q. That's the name of the circle that's over here to the right. I'm going to ask you for the radius of a circle. I'll do one of them and then see if you can give me another one or two. So we all know what a radius of a circle is. It starts at the center and then it goes out to the circle itself. So one radius would be QR. And then all the segment, rays, lines notations that we've done in the past will be important. That is a segment. So you're going to put that little segment notation over the top. Make this even bigger. All right, then I'm going to put a comma because what is another radius we could have named? Q what? QP. Good. Q to P is another radius. And then there is a third one. What's our third one, Dan? Good. QS is a radius. Okay, all of them are segments. If I ask for all of them, you would show me all of them. If I just ask for one, make sure you give me one of them. All right, so that's that. A chord. A chord is a segment that has both endpoints on the end of the circle. So our chord that we're going to start with here is going to go from P. See how this segment, P to S, both starts on the circle and then ends on the circle? That is what we call a chord. So the chord that we're looking at over here is PS. And then what I'm also going to do, I'm going to put this in parentheses. What's another chord that we would be looking at where both endpoints are on the circle? Lily? SR doesn't connect though, right? SR? Braylon, what? Okay. PR we would also consider a chord because R is on the edge of the circle and P is on the edge of the circle. I'm going to put that into parentheses. The reason I'm going to put that into parentheses, that is an answer here, okay? But that's a special chord because that is what when we go to this bottom, next one, not bottom one, but the next one. All right, diameter, you should know, this is something you've talked about, is a chord that goes through the center of the circle. So see how this PR goes through the center of the circle? That's the special chord through the center. That's what we call our diameter. So PR is the only diameter shown in that circle. It is also considered a chord, okay? So it's a special chord that goes through the center. All right? Okay, next three. If we look at this second circle here, a secant. So a secant line is a line that crosses, so we're going to put this in parentheses, it passes through circle, we'll call this circle Q as well. Passes through circle Q twice. All right, so which line, the blue line or the red line, goes through the circle 2 times? The blue one or red? The red one. So that is a secant. And we see how they have the label with the variable J. That is our secant line J. Okay? Whereas a tangent line, put in parentheses, it's going to pass through, there should be an H here, passes through circle Q 1 time. So now of the blue and the red one, which one now is obviously only touching the circle once and only once? The blue one, right? Okay, what is the name of that line? K. So this we would call line K as your tangent line. All right, then when we touch that circle once and only once, that is what we call the point where we are tangent to the circle. So where is that blue line hitting the circle the one and only one time? M. So M is the point of tangency. It's where that blue tangent line touches the circle. Okay? All right. Those are our initial definitions and things, and the bottom of the paper is now just going to test us, see if we got all those. So let me move on down. So go to this next one. I kind of want, yeah, I'm going to make this bigger. You can look on your paper here. All right, we'll do the left one, and then I'll give you a few minutes to try the one on the right. If I ask you to look at this circle here and name that circle, the circle is always named with the symbol for a circle. So you're going to put the circle symbol, which is a circle with a dot in it. And then it's always named by the center of the circle. What point is in the center? A. So this is what we would call circle A. All right, let's go down. Let's go down. Those are the ones I think you're completely familiar with and you've known for many years. All right, what is the center of the circle? A. So that's easy. It's just the point that's in the middle. All right, then do a radius. And there are, again, 1, 2, 3 different radii that you could put here. So see if you can get all 3 radii. Okay. Aiden, you were done quick. Give me one of your radius that you wrote down. Good. So he did AD. Make sure you put a segment over this. All right, when we do it, make sure you label them. That gives us this radius right here. Damari, give me another one. Good. She gave me this one right here, AC. All right. And then Daniel, give me the last radius. Good. AG. Okay. So from the center out to the circle, those are all radii. All right, a diameter. The diameter is a chord that goes through the center of the circle. A chord starts on one end of the circle, it finishes on the opposite end of the circle, but it's got to go through the middle. So which segment starts on one end, finishes on the other, and goes through the center? Braylon? Good. So G, D, here's G, here's D. When we connect those, we go right through the center. That is why we call that our diameter. That then is also, I'm going to put this in parentheses, that is also then a chord. Your diameter is also a chord, so we would include that in the chord. But then if I want another chord, now be careful with this, how you name this. A chord it starts on one end, finishes on the other. So if I'm going to go and name this a chord, which we are, FB, name this correctly. We don't want to continue on forever, so make sure you put the segment symbol over the top, because that is actually a line that would go on forever if we wanted to use the line, but then it's not a chord, it's a secant. Okay? And that's what we're doing next. So now the secant is the one that goes on forever through that circle. So now this is your secant, and it goes on forever. So we are still going to call this FB, because those are the 2 points where we hit it. But now that it extends outside the circle in both directions, over the top, you're going to need to use the line symbol instead of the segment symbol that we used for the chord. Okay? So if we have this notation, that's a chord, because we don't go past those points. If we use this notation, we're saying that's a secant because it passes through it. It's got to go all the way through, which it does. All right, tangent line. Your tangent line is this guy here because it touches the circle once and only once. Where does it touch the circle at? C. So that's your point of tangency. So we'll go ahead and put C as the point of tangency. And then we need to name this line. That line goes through 2 points, and it goes through the points E and C. And then notice how it goes on forever. So we want to make sure we use the line notation over the top. All right. Okay, easy enough. Okay, Take a minute, do the one on the right if you haven't already. So fill all those in. Okay, let's see where we're at here. All right, naming a circle, you always use the circle symbol. So you're going to do circle. And then Sarah N., what am I putting behind the circle here? Good. We always name the circle by its center, and the center is Q, which means what are you putting right here, Sarah? Good. Q is the center, and that's how we always name a circle. Okay? A radius, Bailey, give me a radius. Okay, so she gave me this radius here, QX. All right, Aiden, give me another radius.
QY.
Good, he gave me this one, QY. And then Damari, what is our last radius? Good, this guy here is QU. Okay, so those are radii. All right, our diameter, Ella, is what? Good. Segment U, doesn't matter the order, but she said UY. I like that she put the segment over the top so we know it's a segment. So good. A chord, that's one of your chords. All right. A diameter is always a chord. All right, Adrian, what is our other chord? Good. RV with what symbol over the top, Adrian? With or without arrows? Good. Without arrows. Okay. Segment RV. All right, our secant line, Elise, what is our secant?
RV.
With a what over the top?
The thing with the 2 arrows.
Good. The thing with the 2 arrows, so our line symbol there. All right, that's the difference between these guys. They're both RV. One has no arrows, one does. All right, our tangents, Carter, is what?
W.
Okay, you just put W?
Yeah.
Okay, there's 2 ways to name lines. Maybe we should differentiate it up here. To name a line with one letter, it should be a lowercase letter that is not on the line. Okay? If we have that, we can name it with one. But when we look at these, see how these are capitalized and they are on the line? Then we want to write the line through them. Okay? So we will want to write that as WX with the line symbol over the top. Okay, that's only if we have a lowercase can we name a line with that. All right, so kind of glad you brought that up. I should have mentioned that. Okay? All right, we get all those. What'd I do? Oh, I see. I skipped the line too soon. Thank you. So that's our tangent. Okay, and then we are tangent to the curve we're at. X. Okay, so we just put X there. Okay, good with all that? All right, so just kind of working our way around a circle, knowing some of those vocab words, and then now the second thing. All right, it's just as easy. All right, central angle up here. If we look at this circle over here, circle P, central angle, what I'm going to have you do is write an angle. Make this a little bigger so I have some room to operate here. And we can still see it. Okay, it's an angle whose vertex is V, And then notice what this is called, a central angle, and it is because it is, the vertex is at the center, again, hence the word central, of the circle. Okay? So if we look over here, here is your central angle because it's at the center of the circle. All right, that's a central angle. All right, easy enough. All right, next one, a minor arc. A minor arc is a portion of the circle less than halfway around the circle. So let me make this a little smaller so we can see it. So if you look at the graph and where it's labeled a minor arc, the arc is right here. Do we agree that this yellow arc is less than halfway around the circle? All right, that's why it's a minor arc. The way we would name that, so put a comma here, is you would say AB or BA, the order wouldn't necessarily matter, and then an arc has this symbol over the top. You just actually make an arc over those two letters, and that's the arc that I have highlighted in yellow right now, okay? Then, you're all pretty bright folks. So now if that was a minor arc and we go to a major arc, this is now going to be a portion of a circle more than halfway around. The circle. So I will highlight that and we'll do blue. You see where it's labeled a major arc here because this whole thing here would be the major arc, and that is clearly more than half of the circle. The way we name this now is important because doesn't the yellow arc start and end at B? Doesn't the blue arc start and end at A and B? So if we do this here, if you only use two letters and put the arc here, that is always the short route from A to B. If we want to know that we're going the long route, you better have a third point in between the beginning and the end, and you need to use all 3 points. So you're going to name that blue major arc A, C, B. And you must use 3 letters. We still start at A, we still end at B, but you have to put a letter in between. And that's how we know we go the long route versus the short route. Okay? Okay, and then this one we know. If this is less than half, this is more than half. You've known this, I'm sure, for many years. A semicircle is a portion of a circle that is exactly half. Now, I don't have enough letters up here, the diagram won't work, but in order to name this, you must name it with 3 letters as well. Okay, so minor arcs, 2 letters, major arcs, 3 letters, and then if we have to name a semicircle, you're going to name it with 3 letters as well. Okay? All right, so now come down here, and we'll do some of these, and this is it. All right, so this is asking you to find the measure of each angle. So here's a little measure symbol. This is our arc symbol, XW. So we work over here. Here is arc XW right here. We want to know what degree measure does that arc have, okay? And we're, actually maybe we should start with this. Go to C. So go to this guy here. We want to figure out what arc UV is. Let's do that one first. All right, and it's as easy as this. See this central angle right here? 60 degrees. Your arc measure is the same exact portion of 360 that this is, meaning if your central angle is 60, the arc measure is also 60. Okay, it's as simple as that. So this one is 60 degrees. All right. So now go to A. This is going to make you think just a little bit. If I now want this angle here, it would be the central angle, but do I give you the central angle here? No, so we can't just look across. But from our first page, isn't this thing, what is the type of chord that goes right through the center of a circle called? What was that vocab word? That's your diameter, right? What's a diameter do to your circle? Cut it right in half. So what does the full degree measure have to be on the left side of our diameter? 180, right? There's 360 in a circle. This has to be 180. Don't we have 130 of it right here? What remains for the part we're looking for? 50. This has to be 50 degrees. And then that gives us the 180. All right. All right, let me get rid of those. Just fill in as we get them. All right, B, USV, that's the angle. So find angle USV. So here is U. Oh, this is too easy. S, V, what is the degree measure of that angle? 60 degrees. All right, it's insulting, so easy. All right, D, the measure of arc VW. All right. Actually, I'm going to make you think about this one. I promise you have all the tools you need. We are looking for this arc right here, but this one will make you think a little bit and put a couple of ideas together. See if you can get that guy. I promise when we do it, you're going to be like, ah, yeah, I knew that. But it's probably a combination of 3 ideas here. Good morning. This wouldn't be the dean's office, right?
Huh?
It can't be the dean's office, right? Oh, boy. Okay, I got him. Thank you. Okay, anybody think they got it? Camilla, I saw you first. What is it? Good. This should be 70 degrees. So if you got that, that's really good. All right, walk me through. So let's walk through this process. How'd you know that?
So I knew that X and W, it's vertical to each other, so that's 50.
Good. So remember old vertical angle. Isn't this angle right here 50?
Mhm.
Because the arc and the central angle have the same degree measure. And then she threw out the phrase vertical angle. Isn't this angle here vertical to the 50? So that means this angle is 50, which would then tell us what is this arc degree measure, Camilla?
50.
Good. That's got to be 50. So that's what she was saying initially, and then what?
Like the 180 minus 50 minus 60.
Good. And then this is now the right-hand side of the circle. So doesn't all of this right here have to be 180 degrees? She subtracted the 50, she subtracted the 60, and what you would have remaining is 70 degrees, so this arc here had to be 70 degrees. Okay? Okay, get that? All right, do that. All right, and then VTW, arc, where is that? So VTW, again, understand how we're naming all these. Let me get rid of all the shading. I'll leave the values that you need. Get this guy. Is this a minor arc or a major arc? Major, because we use all 3 letters. So you're going to start at V. That means you're going to put a dot on V. You're going to finish at W, but do we go the direct route or the long route? Got to be the long route because of the 3 letters. So we're going to figure out what is our arc from V through T and then finishing at W. So we're looking for that yellow arc from V all the way around to W. You largely have everything you need right there. What are we just going to do with all those arcs that are shaded in yellow right now? Just add them all up. Okay, so 60, take the 60, the 50, the 130, and the 50, add them all up. That should leave us with how many? 290. Okay? All right, and then last but not least, again, let's get rid of all the markings that don't apply to this particular, easier for me to do. Go TXW. And what does TXW have to be? 180 degrees, because isn't that our semicircle? We start at T, go through X, go to W. You can add them up, I suppose, as well. We have them marked. But it's half the circle. It's got to be 180 degrees. Okay? Okay, got all that? Okay, if you want, I'll give you time. You can do these if you want. However, this is ultimately your homework. So if you just wanted to get going on that, I put it on Delta Math. It will look like that. It's just more what's on the bottom of the paper. So if you want to use your time just getting that done versus doing the ones on the bottom of the paper. All right, that's our homework. Just naming them. This is 10 minutes. Okay, so if you want to get it done before you're good, or before you go, then you should be fine. All right, and then I can stop recording. Let's see here.